We have a new version of the AR Manager report, and if you didn't get it this week, you'll get it next week. And it's called the AR Manager 2, number 2 report. And what's different is that we have another column over here for notes, and I'll tell you where the notes come from in just a second. We've also kind of squished down some of these other things so that, for instance, the billing type is truncated a little bit. You can probably still see which billing type applies here. And also the names aren't truncated quite that much, but they're truncated a little bit. But I think that just gives us a little bit more room for the notes over here. So what these notes are anything that you put in the COM log as a financial note. And I'll show you that in just a second. And here's an example of a little short note down here, which most of your notes will probably be fairly short. You want a date stamp, put your note in there. And just to see what it looks like, I put a big long note in up here on another account. Again, I date stamped it and then just pasted a whole bunch of stuff in there. One thing, don't use the carriage return when you're entering a note because that will truncate the note. So use a semicolon and just keep typing in there. You can add a new line to come back later, but just keep in mind that if you do a carriage return, it's going to truncate that note as far as what shows up in here. Okay, here are the notes. So this is the COM log. You want to click on that financial one, which is one of the defaults that's set up in there, and right mouse click so you date stamp it, and then put your notes in here. Typical note might be resubmitted insurance or whatever. Okay, called patient about their account or whatever you did. So this is the only place, this report and these notes should be the only thing that you need to look at when you're managing your accounts receivable. Because regardless of whether it's insurance or a patient balance, you've got all the notes in there to look at. And the best way to work these accounts is in order on this report. That's old, that's been like that. So you want to start at the top and work your way down. That's the best use of your time in trying to collect money for the practice. And so go by these. This priority is 0, which means you don't really need to pay attention to these, but start at the top, which is where the 5s are. We have configured this report so by several different criteria. So it's the optimal use of your time, whether you're doing patient-related stuff or insurance-related stuff. Use this report. You don't need to go in and look at your insurance aging report and so forth. Just do it from this report. And don't forget to put your notes in there so you can see it. But also, if somebody's kind of overseeing this job of managing the accounts receivable, they can look at this report too and read your notes and see what's going on. So both from the point of view of the person who's actually doing the management of the accounts receivable and from the point of view of the person that's overseeing the management of the accounts receivable, this report and these notes should be helpful. So if you have any questions, by all means, give us a call. And again, if you didn't get it this week, you'll get it next week.